Social responsiveness scale. So this one's 4 to 18. It distinguishes autism spectrum from other child psychiatric conditions by identifying presence and extent of autistic social impairment. Parent and or teacher rating, it's only 15 to 20 minutes. It's got a fairly good validation sample. Let me read you some of the questions from this. I really like this one. Again, this was something that I actually got to use in research in a different form during its standardization, and I really have learned to like it. And it lists it, the thing I like about it is that it breaks social communication down in a number of categories. Does anybody else use this? You do. What do you think?
I like it also, but sometimes I find that really severe ADHD kids score pretty high on it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe the developmental history doesn't match, but they have a greater than 90 score on the total SRS.
So one of my best friends in graduate school did her dissertation on social cues and kids with ADHD. So kids with ADHD have social problems, and so if you don't use that, that's why I never diagnosed. I really am purist on that sort of rule out. So you have to rule out ADHD first, and if you've got severe ADHD, are kids missing social cues because of the ADHD, or are they missing them because of autism? And they can look a lot of the same way. A child with severe autism can look like they have attentional issues, but I think it comes from a different source. And the reason it's important to tease that out is because the intervention is different. And so I think it's a really helpful thing to start to try to quantify it with this instrument. So it breaks it down. You get a total, you get social awareness, social cognition, social communication, social motivation, and autistic mannerisms. So I really like that because it can help you. One sort of motivation looks at, are they even interested in interacting with other kids? If they're not interested, you can give them all the cue interpretation, but if they're not interested, it's not helpful. Same thing about awareness. Are they aware of other kids around them? That's a much different intervention than they're missing the cue because they're looking out the window or they're running around the classroom and won't sit in their chair. Types of questions. Seems much more fidgety in social situations than when alone. Seems self-confident when interacting with others, would rather be alone than with others. When under stress, he or she shows rigid or inflexible patterns of behavior. Doesn't recognize when others are trying to take advantage of him or her. Big issue for kids on the spectrum, right? Don't really understand when other kids are trying to put one over. Able to communicate his or her feelings. Expressions on his or her face don't match what he or she is saying. So those are the types of questions. I think this is way underutilized. Love this instrument.